So I've made a lot of videos about credit cards here on this channel, and there's one card that stays popping up, and a card that I actually haven't made a video on in quite a long time, and that is gonna be the Chase Freedom Flex. Now this card here is one that I wanted to do a full review on because it is one of the highest value starter credit cards on the market, and it opens up a pathway for you to get started with other cards that can lead to even thousands of dollars in rewards. So ladies and gents, as someone who's been within this space for quite a while now, we're gonna be giving you my full updated version on a review on the Chase Freedom Flex card and dive deep into everything you need to know about the card, the good, the bad, how it stacks up to other cards, and some tips on how you can make sure that you get approved. So let's start with the bare basics with this card. You get 5% cash back on travel through the Chase UR portal. You get 3x back on dining at restaurants, takeouts, and delivery services. You get 3x back on drugstore purchases, and then 1x back on everything else. Now, where this card actually comes and shines is that 5% rotating quarterly category. One big tip is that if you don't have this card, or if you do have this card, make sure that you manually go ahead and activate that quarterly category. As an example, right now it's July. We're in the third quarter of the year, meaning that you'll get 5% back on 3 new categories. Until October, these are going to be gas stations, EV chargings, and select live entertainment. Now these quarters reset every 3 months or every quarter, and there have been some months where it has really high value. As an example, my favorite one is Amazon, Lowe's, Target, or even gym memberships, where they're rotating categories, and all I have to do is remember to link my card up to whatever place is charging me, and I'll go ahead and activate that 5% offer. Now I have the Amazon Visa card, so I get 5% on that, but gym memberships is where it's come in handy for me before because I pay for 2 gym memberships. I pay about like $200 to $300 a month for that. At one point I was paying for 3 gym memberships. I was trying to rock climb, and I had one gym I like going to because all my friends go there, and another gym that had a pool. You know, we're in a bear market though. I cut down on the rock climbing stuff, but still, even with those 2 gyms, if you're getting 5% back, you can realize that it ends up adding up significantly over time. By the way though, a lot of people overlook this one line of text, and it's the fact that the 5% applies for the first $1,500 in quarterly spend in these categories, adding up to about $300 in value a year. So if you spend a lot more than that, or you're expecting to get a lot more points, you can also do another method where you may have multiple Freedom cards. A little bit more on that later. What I love about this card too is that you can also get a 0% APR offer on purchases and balance transfers for the first 15 months, saving you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in interest if you happen to be someone who's struggling with credit card debt. Now, hopefully if you're watching this video here on this channel, you guys are financially educated enough to not carry any type of credit card debt. Otherwise, the whole thing with points and miles and travel hacking just ends up not working. But in the case that you do have any type of credit card debt, 15 months is a pretty solid offer. Now, saving the best for last, this card has an incredible welcome bonus. So by spending $500 in the first 3 months, you're going to be getting $200 in bonus cash back. More simply put, for $500 that you first spent on this card, you're going to be essentially getting 40% off of everything. So $200 cash back from the welcome bonus, and $300 in cash back from the rotating categories, and hundreds of dollars in cash back from dining, food delivery, and drugstore purchases can lead to getting a decent amount of cha-ching back on this card. Out of all that, the best part is this card comes to you with no annual fee. So even if you had 5 Chase Freedom Flexes for whatever reason, it would not cost you a single penny to hold. So I always like to make a fair comparison of these things. Those are the pros, but what are some of the cons? The good thing is not too many. So the 5% that you get back on travel only activates when you book via the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal. On the other end of that, the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal is pretty competitive, and at times I've seen it be even cheaper than what I could book through Expedia or direct with some of the hotels or airlines. Another con you could say is that sometimes the monthly categories that rotate aren't always useful. So gas and EV is what I would consider to be really good, but you know, shopping at Lowe's might not happen all the time for a specific quarter, but this is why having multiple different credit cards within your arsenal would balance out. That being said, those are really the only downsides that I can think of. In terms of how this card competes with other cards within the market, it offers some of the highest welcome bonuses. It gives you some of the highest diversity in cash back multipliers that you get, and also 5% rotating category is still pretty good. The main competitors that I would see stacking up against this card is like the Capital One Saver One card, but between the 2 issuers of Capital One and Chase, I would prefer to go with Chase, and the only other competitor that comes to mind is something like the US Bank Cash Cash Plus card. Now, in a recent video, I did a full ultimate guide on US bank credit cards. If you guys have no idea on anything regarding US bank cards, watch that video. It's gonna really shed some light on why these are some of the most underrated credit cards within the industry. And it's usually a trend. If we talk about a certain card that's underrated, then you guys are gonna see 20 other YouTube videos here from other creators talking about it too. But it's fair game. I want everyone to talk about it because it is a very good issuer that has some very strong cards, and some of them offer perks that I've never seen within the credit card game. Diving a bit more deeper back into the US Bank Cash Plus Visa card, I would say between the two, it's still easier to get approved to the Chase Freedom Flex card, and it's easier to hit the welcome bonus on the Freedom Flex, where it's $500 spend versus $1,000 you'd have to spend with their card. But the Cash Plus card with US Bank has much more flexibility on their 5% quarterly categories, in that you get to choose the categories, and it's up to $2,000, which is $500 more than the Chase Freedom Flex's $1,500 quarterly cap. Personally, I really think those two cards could work really well together, but I'd probably still start with the Freedom Flex card first because of something called the Chase 524 rule. With this rule here, in order to get any card with Chase, you have to be limited to getting less than 5 cards within a 24-month period. So say within the last 24 months or 2 years, I applied for 5 cards already. I would not be eligible to get another credit card with Chase unless you watch some videos on this channel and you guys hear about some of the secret tips that I'll mention in some of my future ones. But generally, because of that 524 rule, you want to make sure you prioritize Chase first. It also works well because US Bank tends to be a bit more harsher for people who have very little credit history. And if these are one of your first credit cards, it might be better to get Chase anyways, and then to get the US Bank card down the road. Now, when it comes to getting approved for this card, there are a lot of things you want to keep out for, but the general rule of thumb is if you want to get approved, just have a good credit score of at least 670. Now, this is a card that is meant for beginners, so even if you don't have the best score in the world, I still think you have a good chance of getting approved. If you want to check out the link down below in the description to follow along the application process, you guys can go ahead and do that. Those links are affiliate links, meaning that you support this channel at no cost to you. But if you have a referral link from a friend, make sure you go ahead and use that, and always make sure that the link that you guys use is the best possible one. Aside from the Chase 524 rule, there's also one more rule you want to look out for, and this is the Chase 2 and 30 rule. So if you've applied for 2 Chase cards within the last 30 days, it means you'll automatically be denied for the next. Waiting a little bit longer in this case is 100% worth it instead of taking your chances on this rule. So if you're going a little ham on some of these Chase cards, slow it down a little bit and make sure that you keep those 2 rules that I mentioned in mind. Now, the application process for this card is so simple. It's very straightforward, and you should be able to get usually automatically approved if you have a decent enough score. But on the off chance, if they don't approve you right away, the next step would be to wait to see if you get anything in the mail. And then you can also call the reconsideration line, where you can talk to a real life human being that has the full power, the glory of the finger, to reverse your application decision in case it actually got denied. When this card first came out, there were a ton of people who were saying it took a while for them to get approved, some with even great credit and a long history with Chase. So just depending on the time of year and the quota numbers they need to hit, you never know what kind of process that they might put you through in trying to check for a quick fraud. But either way, guys, those are the tools that I'd definitely prioritize in making sure that I'm still able to get approved no matter what. So say that you have considered this card, or you might have this card already and you're just watching this video just because you love listening to your boy out here, and I appreciate y'all viewing this video like always. I want to share with you 5 more things that you can do in order to maximize the value from this card. So first of all, if you can, make sure to max out and spend the limit in the quarterly 5% categories that you get. So this means, being intentional with your spending, moving things around, saving some home purchases for a specific moment. I always will note though, you're not going to get ultra rich from the 5% that you get back on knowing the right cards to use, but instead you can make a lot of money and get a lot of points within this space by timing welcome bonuses and applying for as many cards as possible in a correct manner. Also, this is a no-brainer, but if you do get this card, make sure you hit the welcome bonus offer. So you don't have to spend a lot on this card. Knock it out initially right off the way, get your 40% back. And then on top of that, you want to make sure redeeming this card for points is something that you focus on. Now, the cash back that you get on the Freedom Flex with the 5% and the welcome bonus comes in the form of Chase Ultimate Reward points. So this is not something you want to spend right away unless you really need to for whatever reason. Generally, what you want to do is use this as the base to build out the Chase trifecta, where you can redeem the points for a higher value. So if you end up getting something like the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which I highly recommend everyone to get at least once, because just from that 1 year of holding the card with the welcome bonus offer and the benefits that you get, you're still able to get significant amount of value. You're also going to be boosting up the value of those points by 25%. And if you get the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you're getting an additional 50% boost on your points. And with the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you get access to the Ultimate Rewards Travel Portal. This is where you can transfer your points out to a hotel or an airline and get even more value on your Chase Ultimate Rewards points. Basically, if you're not doing a lot of travel right now, but you plan on doing it in the future, this is the best strategy to get that value up. Another way to maximize the value of this card is that if you don't have any other credit card, this is one of those no annual fee beginner cards that actually give you cell phone protection. In order to activate this benefit, all you got to do is just pay your phone bill on this card, and then you'll activate cell phone protection. And if your phone breaks, you can get it replaced with just a $50 deductible. This has come in handy for me many times. I've used this benefit with the Chase Ink card. That's where I activated the first time I broke my iPhone. This most recent time I used the Amex Business Platinum. I believe I filed a claim through AIG. I still had to get a lot of information, like an estimate on the repair. I had to get the receipt and like explain what happened. But the process of you getting it repaired is usually simple after that. So guys, with all that being said, if you did enjoy today's video, be sure to drop a like down below. That helps out this channel a ton. And be sure to check out the links down below in order to get started. If you're new to the credit card game, I made a video called the Ultimate Credit Card Guide. Go ahead and check out that video too if you want to learn more about how to get started and how you can maximize your points so you can travel the world for free, earn extra money, and pretty much just live a better life. I also have a link to our Facebook group, link down below in the description, where you'll also get access to our newsletter. Well, I'll send you a daily newsletter email, just giving you guys some additional free fire and knowledge about credit card tips and tricks. Also, anytime we get huge credit card offers and bonuses where they go elevated for a short period of time, I'll let you guys know in the email inbox as well, so you guys can maximize your spend. Thank you all so much again for watching this video. Take care, and until next time, peace out.